Pilates, we work with various principles: control, precision. We flow with our movements, and the alignment and the breathing and the centering is part of those principles as well. And we're going to really focus on that within our movements and our exercises today. Okay, so first of all, let's have one hand in front and one hand behind, and we're going to tilt the pelvis. So just tuck your tail underneath and then out behind you again. So we're just going to move through the lumbar spine, finding mobility. And it's a small movement, guys. It's harder than it sounds, actually, to be fair, for a lot of people. Careful not to sink. Just let the middle of your body, the hips, the pelvis, the lower back, tilt. Then we can settle into the centre. Become aware of the curves in your spine. Yeah. So we stand into our own true height, regardless of your real height. Take a breath in. And then out. Now, think about focusing on our breath. In Pilates, we call it a lateral thoracic breath, because we're going to breathe full and wide into the ribs. It's a much more efficient way of breathing. It fills more of the lungs. So let's place your hands across the rib cage, and on your in-breath, we're going to feel as if the ribs are inflating and the fingertips just separate a little. And on the out-breath, the fingertips come back in and the ribs settle down. So breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. We feel that expansion of our lungs. We're filling the lungs, but we keep the shoulders down. It's not this. That's cheating. So we're just going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just feel your ribs inflate and then deflate. Now, with your next out breath, take a moment to think about the deeper abdominal muscles. Feel it's like you're drawing your belly button in, away from the waistband to your trouser, towards your spine. Hollowing gently. Now it's a mild drawing in effect. Just enough to notice and work to maintain. So follow me on this, yeah? We feel the belly button just draw in, away from the waistband of the trouser. But please, if you're holding your breath, too much. There you go. Let's start again. Belly button gently drawing in. Feel that abdominal drawing in. And try and maintain that connection as you breathe full and wide. And then as we go on to our movements. So here, as you stand there, shoulders above the hips, just start to rock forwards and back. With a gentle squeeze of your bottom, we keep the belly button drawing in. It's almost like we're moving from the ankles. Then, go side to side. It's a bit like a pendulum swing. Shoulders above the hips. And then settle into the centre. Here, squeeze your bottom and let's lift your heels into the space above your head. And then gently lower. So squeeze your bottom, work with your balance, breathe out. Breathe in, hold. And breathe out, lower. This time, hold your heels up and then take your right heel down and your left knee forward. Come on up. And then the left heel down and the right knee forward. Remember, I'm like your mirror. Yeah, you're the opposite to me. When the heel lands, squeeze that buttock. It will stabilise your hips, or try to. Coming up. So we feel that we are just going up and down, not sideways. And it's slower than you think. Just getting these glute muscles activated as the heel lands. Good. Now the next time the right heel lands, lift your right arm and then switch. It's a little bit like we're marching, but on the spot. As the arm lifts, draw your shoulder down from your ears. Work with your breath. We'll do one more on each side. And then bringing the heel and the arms down. So have your hands on your hips. Now this time, squeeze your left buttock and lift your right leg. Balance. Turn the knee out. Bring the leg back in. And then down. Change sides. Squeeze the bum cheek first, stabilising you. Lift the leg. Belly button still drawing in towards the spine. The knee turns out, but we want to keep the other leg as still as we can. Perfectly still if we can. And then come in. So breathe out as you lift the leg. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out, turn out, stabilizing the hips. Keeping the belly button to the spine. Other side. Good. And then step down. Now this time, we're going to lift both heels, bring the arms up to shoulder height. Hang on, nothing across the internet there, all's back. Internet's been a bit up and down, hasn't it, lady? Squeeze your bottom and then turn your waist, open your right arm and look to the side of the room. Come back to centre and go the other way. Breathing out to turn, look to the side of the room and then come back to centre. And bringing the arms and the heels down. Good. So again, we lift up, hold, and as you turn, do the left arm this time. As you turn, try and feel that shoulder blade coming behind you. Turn the waist, try and keep the legs still, the hip bones facing forward. And then back in. And gently lower. Roll the shoulders. Okay, now this time, we come on up into the space above our head and circle the right arm, keeping the rest of your body very still. And then the other. Good. Then bringing the arms down, roll the shoulders, and then do that again. I'm just going to have a little check of the messages. Lift up off your heels. Let the arms circle, one arm at a time. Oh, someone's got World War III going on in their house, or Arthur. And then the other arm. I shouldn't distract myself, should I? And then bring the heels down, roll the shoulders. Good. Now from here, take a step forward and come down onto your knees. Guys, here, we're going to take your left leg out to the side. Now, if you can, square off through your hips, and you might notice stretch on the inner thigh. That's all good. Yeah. This foot is flat to the floor. Hand down the leg, and we come into a kneeling side bend. Just finding lateral flexion of the spine, and then back to centre. Continuing with the belly button towards the spine, and breathe out as you go across. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out, return. So we feel like we are squeezing into one side of the waist, and then opening through the other. So we do two more. Take your time. Good. Okay, so let's change sides. Taking the leg out. Other side could be quite different from one side to the other, so just be aware of that. Right hand down the leg, breathing out as you slide down, breathing in to hold, and breathing out to come back to centre. Now keep your chest up, please. Try not to lean forward. Almost imagine it's like you're in between two panes of glass. We don't want to bump into it. That's it. So two more, please. Remember, moving slow with control, squeezing one side of the waist, opening through the other. Good. And then releasing there. So let's come down into all fours. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Now, make sure there's a gap between both knees, giving you that base of support. If we get a bit wobbly, just take the knees a bit wider. Okay. Let's just move that out of the way. From here, we're just going to then lengthen opposite arm and leg. So breathe out and extend. Inhale, hold. Exhale, return. Take up the body here. Two shoulders, two hips, staying in line. If you was to visualize looking down at your back, it's a bit like a rectangle. And it's not a wonky one either, is it? Come on. Keep steady. Breathing out to extend, drawing your shoulder blades down your back. Good. Really focus on drawing the belly button in because we don't want it to fall out. Yeah? Belly button in towards your spine. Now, if you wish, we can add a little bit extra here. You choose. If you're happy with this, please stay. However, we could extend the opposite arm and leg and then turn them out, still trying to keep the center of your body in place, bringing them back in and then down. So opposite arm and leg reaches away, we hold, turn them away from the center of the body, you get a little bit more happening through the waist, come back in and then down. So try one more on each side like that, okay, just reaching out, opposite arm and leg, taking them away from the body, they return and then down. Remember, if it's wobbly, you go a bit wider with the knees. Once completed, when you're ready to rest, with the arms forward. Take the knees wide and the chest down. So from here, then come to lie on your front. Lie on your front with your arms in a surrender position. So we're going to find a little bit of back extension here. Take your hands to the outside edge of your mat. Yeah, elbows are just below the shoulders. Feel the hips are just level with the mat. Wiggle into feel and find a neutral place. Allow the belly button to draw in. Lightly, as you breathe out, we squeeze the bottom and lengthen up via the breastbone and then gently down. So we can start with a small range of movement first. Breathing out to lengthen up, draw the shoulder blades down your back. Breathing in to hold. Breathing out to lower. If this is new or been a while, there's concerns with your back, stay small like that. Or if we're happy to go a little further, we could lengthen the arms but draw the elbows in, keep your chin tucked in. On the way down, the elbows come in and the shoulders stay relaxed. So please feel it's like you are lengthening away from the floor, not pushing down. Now we maintain that squeeze in the bottom because this is great exercise for the back and the bum. Yeah? So really squeeze the bottom to support the lower back while we work here. Continue with the belly button drawing in towards your spine. And if you wish, we could add, as you lower down, both legs floating out off the floor. Remember, it's an option. The legs come down, the chest floats up. So we've built it up a little bit here, but remember, if your lower back is a little bit tired or unhappy, you don't have to add in all these options. You certainly don't need to use the legs. So let's try 3 more. Taking your time, keeping the belly button towards the spine. Maintaining that bottom squeezed. Yeah, keeping your butt squeezed throughout. So we can complete with this one or the next. See how you feel. And then again we can just come up onto the knees, sit back into the heels with the arms forward. I'll just shift side to side to loosen up. Okay, from here let's roll over onto your back. So lie on your back and we're going to prepare for our bridge. So relax the arms beside you, tilt your pelvis, draw the belly button in and peel your spine away from the floor, lifting your hips. So we're high in the hips. Very gently, exhale, melting your body back into the mat, letting your bottom come down last. And here remember, we want to make sure the heels are in line with the sit bones, the knees are in line with the toes and the arms are relaxed. So your lower back finds the mat. We squeeze the bottom, peel each vertebrae off the mat as you lift the hips. Up here, try to feel the shoulders, the hips, the knees are in line like a slope. Maybe it's a ski slope. Very gently melt back down, allowing your bottom to come down last. So option 1, we can stay here, continue like that. You choose. Option 2, we can come up again through the bridge, holding it there, and can we lift the heels up and down twice? So we could breathe out to lift the heels, breathe in to hold, breathe out to lower, inhale, hold, exhale, lift, inhale, hold, breathe out, lower, and allow the body to come back down. So 2 options already. The feet are flat to the floor, or we come up into the bridge, and instead of keeping them flat and still, we can lift the heels up and down twice. So up, down, up, down. Now, some of you, this could be a bit of a risk, let's see. Some of you may want a 3rd option. Please, it's an option. If this is new for you, stay with either of the first 2, yeah? Be honest with yourself. But if you can, if you know you've done this before and you want a challenge, you could lift one leg and point the foot towards the ceiling. We bend the knee, pop it down, and change legs. You choose. Listen to your body, you know. Yeah? I can't see you. I wish I could. But I'm trusting you to choose the right one. So let's do one more. Choose your option. 1, 2, or 3. Feet flat to the floor throughout. Coming up for 2 heel lifts. Or maybe we're lifting one leg, holding the hips up, and be really careful not to move your hips as you change legs. Keep the hips up and in line. Very gently coming back down and bringing your knees to the chest. Just rocking in and out or even side to side. And then from here, let's roll over and face the screen. So you can see me, but unfortunately I can't see you. So from here, we're going to bend the knees and we're going to come into our clam. So with your feet stacked, your knees stacked, your hips stacked. Keep your heels together. Feel the belly button draw in and notice the waist lifting up from underneath. Breathe out as you open the top knee. Breathe in, hold, squeeze the bottom, and breathe out to lower. So here, opening the knee, dig your heels together and turn the toes of the top foot up. We get mobility in the ankle then as well. And then come back down. So really start to isolate and notice the outer part of that top buttock. This muscle here, gluteus medius, is a stabilizing muscle of the hip. Often it's weak in a lot of us. It's a great one to work. Good. Now we could add, if you wish, an extra lift. We could hold, then here, just lift from the hip. Bring the heel down, and then the knee down. Now take your time. Think of this as 4 phases. Phase 1, we open the knee. Phase 2, we lift the knee. Phase 3, the heel comes back down. Phase 4, the knee lowers. Sometimes 3 and 4 get a bit too blended for my liking, so take your time. Okay, so we open up, we lift up, we lower down, we close down. Let's try 3 more. Remember, we're still drawing the belly button in, and as you do that, the waist comes up from underneath you as well. You might get a lifting sensation or a gap from underneath. So these core muscles are still working to hold you in place. One more time. Good. So resting there for the moment. Now, from here, you might want to tap out that leg. It gets a bit intense around there. From here, all we're going to do now is lift the top leg so it's parallel to the bottom leg. Yeah? So here, there's a gap between both legs that's the same. Now circle from the hip. Your kneecap is pointing to the same place. It's not lifting. Yeah? You're circling from the hip. So we're mobilizing the hip, but oh, we are still so aware of that buttock. Well, I am anyway. Hope you are. Breathe out as you circle away and breathe in as it comes back in. Now change direction. Take the circle, run the other way. Just to even out. Good. Keep working with this. Continue with the tummy drawing in, even here. 3 more circles. And we'll take a well-deserved stretch. Ooh, well done. Release there. Give the outer thigh a little tap. Come onto your back and take your leg across onto the other knee or thigh and bring those legs in towards you. Yeah, now if that's too much, you can always use your hand to push the knee away and stretch it a little bit more there. See how you feel. It's a bit like you're wrapping yourselves in knots sometimes. It's all good. So, to do the other side, all we need to do, so that you can still see the screen, is just bring yourself so that your head is at the other end of your mat. Yeah? Bend your knees. I hope you can see me, because it looks a bit dark on my screen. Here, we start with the clown. So heels together, hips are stacked. Remember, when we open the top knee, we don't want this hip to roll back. And that helps you know how high to lift the knee, because if it has, you've gone too far. So breathe out, open the knee, squeeze that top bum cheek into the other one. And then gently lower. Breathing out to open, breathing in to hold, breathing out to come down. Remember, we're still drawing in the tummy, so even though we're focusing on this top buttock, we still keep the abdominal muscles connected. Good. Hip bones are facing forward. Think of these hip bones like headlights to the front. Good. Breathing out to open. Now this time, let's add that extra lift. Do you remember we did before? We lifted from the hip. Heel comes down and the knee closes. So breathing out to open, breathing in to hold, breathing out to lift. We can hold. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower. Slow, controlled. You really target a bit more. You focus a bit more. Good. Stay with it. Let's do a couple more. Take your time, opening up, lifting up, heel down, knee down. Little tap to release, and then again, we're going to lift up that top leg, but just so that the leg becomes parallel. It just floats above the other one. There's a space between both legs. It's the same gap between the feet, the knees. Circle. Circle from the hip. Mobilizing the hip as we circle, but staying very much aware of the buttock, that top bum cheek. I imagine if there's a few of you doing this that haven't done it before, you might be surprised how much you get to feel this in the bum. Maybe you don't, but I bet you are. Let's take this circle in the other direction. Remember, use your breath, work with your breath. We don't need to rush this. Breathe out as you start the circle. Breathe in as it completes. Let's do 3 more. But you know you can always rest whenever you need to. Don't remember, I can't even see you. I can't wait to see you again though. And then allow the leg to settle. Ooh, little tap, release, come onto your back. So let's have a stretch here. Take that foot over onto the other knee or thigh. Bring the legs in. Or keep one foot down and turn that knee out wide. Option, yeah? You don't have to bring the foot off the floor if it doesn't feel good for you tonight. You can just stay with the foot down. Good, so from here, releasing those legs. And then bring your right knee to the chest and straighten the other leg. Let's curl up and come into a single leg stretch. So extend one leg and then the other. Now, if you find your neck doesn't like your head being off the floor, please just put it back down. It's no problem. Wherever your head is, keep your chin tucked in and your eyes forward. If you have curled up, feel like your shoulder blades are off the floor. Maintaining the belly button towards the spine, you become a little bit more aware of the lower abdomen as the leg goes long and low. So here, let's try 3 more on each side. Take your time. Well done, and bring the knees to the chest, holding the legs in place. So take a big, long, open stretch, lengthen out, and then what we'll do is roll over again onto your side to face the screen with straight legs this time. So here, just going to move that pillow out of the way. Here, with your legs straight, your hand is down the outside of your top leg. Please, if it gets wobbly, bend the bottom leg. That'll give you more support. What we're going to do is slide down the leg, squeeze into the waist, the bottom, outer thigh and hip. So as you breathe out, lengthen the top leg. Oh, my hair's got caught underneath my arm. That's funny. Lengthen up the leg and slide down. So you're squeezing into the waist here and then come back down. So breathe out, we lengthen, we slide, and then we breathe in, hold and squeeze, and then release. Now, some of you might be happy to glue your legs together and let both legs float out off the floor at the same time, and then down. It's okay, they won't go too high, they're not supposed to. Now, as you slide down the leg or legs, feel it's the bottom rib drawing in towards the hip. Good. Take your time. Looking forward. So please, try not to look down at the feet. Look straight ahead. Yeah? You want to keep the neck nice and long in line with your spine. Stay very much aware of drawing the belly button in from the front. We'll do 2 more. Excellent. From here, bend the knees in front of you and then come onto your back when you're ready. Now, let the arms come out wide, and then here, before we do the other side, don't worry, I haven't forgot, keep the belly button towards you and just lift one knee up above the hip. Gently, feel that abdominal drawing in, because when we lift the other leg, we don't want any of this to move. We lift the second leg, remaining stable. So, allow the upper body to anchor you down. The knees go to one side, and then back to center, and then to the other side. Feel the back of the arms, even the shoulder blades are lying flat on the floor. They stay there, they're anchoring you, stabilizing you as we move through the waist, the lower back, and the hips. Glue your legs together. Couple more each side. Take your time. Remember, you can breathe out as the legs go away, and you can breathe in to draw them back in. 1 more each way. Well done. Popping one foot down at a time, and then we're going to prepare for the other side. So bring yourself up and put your head to the other end of your mat. We're starting again. Nice and long in the legs. You know it now, yeah? We're just going to do the same on this side. Hand down the outside of your top leg. You can lengthen the top leg and slide down, squeezing into the waist already, and then come back down. Remember, if you're happier to, you can glue your legs together and let both legs float out at the same time. But please, if it's a little bit wobbly and you're all over the place, you might not be, I can't see you. Do top leg only. Yeah? If you need to bend the bottom leg underneath you for support, that's fine. So take the options. You don't have to do both legs coming off the floor if it's not for you. Wherever we are, the hand is sliding down that top leg. The other arm on the floor is light. You're lengthening away from it, not pushing it down into it. We lengthen away from the arm on the floor. Squeezing the bottom rib into the hip, noticing the waist. Let's do 2 more. Good. So once completed, again, you're going to lie on your back and lift the legs. Taking them side to side like we did before. So here, arms out to the side. We lift one leg, continue with the belly button to the spine, hollowing between the hips as you lift the other leg. We remain centered. Let the knees go to one side. Now this time, option, you could straighten the legs, bend the knees, and then back to center. Or just keep your knees bent the whole time like you did the first time round. Yeah? Stay aware as you take the legs to one side, if the opposite shoulder comes off the floor, you've gone too far. We want both shoulders to stay on the floor, anchoring you down. So remember, we can keep our knees bent the whole time, or we can opt to extend the legs when we get to one side, if you wish. Good. Really feel the belly button draw in and the waist coming around you. So let's try one more on each side, but of course, if you'd rather rest before or instead, please feel free. And then once completed, as you come back to center, hug the knees to the chest, just rocking in and out or even side to side. And then what we can do from here, pop the feet on the floor, take the legs to one side, and then bring yourself round towards your screen with your knees wide and your arms forward. Now, bring yourself up onto your forearms and tip forward. I'll show you from the side. It's like a 3/4 plank. Yeah? Elbows are underneath your shoulders. Tip forward a little bit, but try and have your hips and your shoulders at the same height. Yeah? Keep the belly button drawn in, and as you hold, can you take one hand to the side and then back in? Change sides. The other hand taps out to the side and then back in. So as you do that, we want the middle of your body and your hips to stay perfectly still. So really brace your abs. Feel the belly button draw in and feel the waist wrapping around you as one hand just taps out and in as you hold that position. Yeah? Take your time, work with your breath. We try 2 more on each side, or alternatively, you could just hold it still, keeping the belly button lifted into your body. Remember, we don't want the belly to fall out. Good. Finish with the opposite hand to where you began, and then when you're ready, sit back into your heels. Take your knees wider, it gives you more space. Let the chest come down and just hold. Okay, when you're ready, bring yourself up to seated. And in a seated position, just feel your shoulders are directly above your hips. Continue with the belly button towards the spine. And then take a rotation with your hand towards the outside of one leg. Come back to center and the other side. Good. And again, turn the waist. And then one more to the other side. And then as we come to center, this time bring your hands to the middle and we prepare for a rest. Oh, I'm back. I think the internet's dipping in and out. Sorry about that. Must have done that a few times. So, turn your waist. Keep your eyes on your fingertips. Come back to center. And then the other side. Breathing out to turn the waist. Now, we can stay here with the hands in prayer, or taking your arms wider, squeeze your shoulder blades together and turn from there. Please sit as upright as you can. Really lengthen your spine. If it helps you, sit on something, even if it's just a couple of pillows. With the arms wide, squeeze your shoulder blades together, even as you turn. Keep the arms wide. And let's do one more each side. So breathing out as you turn away from the midline. Breathing in to hold. Breathe out to return. Breath in, prepare. Exhale, turn. Come back to center when you're ready. Allow the arms to settle. Roll the shoulders. And place your left hand down. Reach across for a little side stretch. And then go the other way. Good. Then here at the center, bring your elbows in underneath your shoulders. The palms are facing up. We come into dumb waiter. We open the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then bring the hands back in. So we feel the chest open also. Breathe out, open. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out, return. Still aware, drawing in the belly button, sitting as lengthened up in the spine as you can. Now, next time, what we could do is open the hands, hold it there, squeeze the shoulder blades together and let your hands go wider, but keep the shoulders down. Then bring the elbows in and the hands in. So we're adding a little bit more to it. We turn the hands wider as you draw the shoulder blades in and keep the shoulders down from the ears. Good. 2 more. Take your time. Open out as you breathe out. Hands come out. Elbows come in. Hands come in. 1 more. This time, as the hands come in, interlock your fingers, take the arms forward, tuck your chin and look down. Feel like you are separating the shoulder blades. And then bring the hands behind you, just to the floor, lift your chest, lengthen up. Turn your head to one side. Come back to center. And then the other side. Come back to center. Take a breath in, lift the arms. And a breath out to release. Hands down again, lengthen up through the spine. Turn your head to one side. Come back to center. And then the other side. Come back to center, lift the arms. Exhale, release. And just give your shoulders a little roll here. Loosen up, roll the shoulders. And thank you very, very much.